Welcome to Lesson 79 of Course 2 of Saxon Math. In this lesson, we're going to talk about estimating areas. We've learned over the prior lessons how to calculate area. Now we're going to learn how to estimate it when we don't have nice, well-defined squares and triangles and rectangles, things like that. So let's take a look at this. Here we got a footprint of Tucker. He balanced on 1 foot on a scale, and he wondered how many pounds per square inch he was being supported. So after he weighed himself, he took and put his foot on this 1-inch graph paper and outlined his foot to see how many square inches his foot took up. And for each, he counted these all as whole ones, right? And then these are just partials, or what we call halves. And he just totaled them all up, added the halves, and came up with 32 square inches. There's 30 whole ones, and then 4 halves make it 32. So he knows there's 32 square inches to his foot. And he weighed 116 pounds. So he divided those up and divided it to figure out how much per square inch that he had. So Tucker's estimate, was 32 square inches. So he found that his weight was distributed to be about 3.5 pounds per square inch, but he divided by 32. He didn't, you wouldn't want to divide by the 33 here. All right, so let's take another look at this. Let's look at a problem that they're going to use to try to get you to try to estimate area, because it can be kind of tricky. So let's look at this one here. To prevent a 500-pound piano from damaging the floor, the owner put 6-inch diameter circular coasters under 3 legs of the piano. Use Tucker's method to estimate the area of each caster. Then find the pounds per square inch the floor supported. So I think you can do pretty easily. You can probably calculate for each caster how many square inches are being used. I think you can do that. Well, let's just start doing it. Let's see if you can do that first of all. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 holes there. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I got 24 whole ones, and then I've got 4, 25, 26, 27, 28. So I'd go with 28. I think there's 28 square inches in each one of those casters. But the tricky part now is that there's 3 legs. There wasn't just one. So if you just answer for 1, you'd get it wrong. You've got to figure it out for 3. So you're going to multiply 28 by 3, and you're going to get 84 square inches. And that's what you're going to divide into the 500 to get how many pounds per inch squared. So you've got to read the whole question. I think most of us, and I think you would agree, most of us would stop at the 28 square inches and think that we had the answer to the question, and that's not what the question asked. So it's very important that you read the question thoroughly and know what it's looking for, because we had to calculate that. That's for 1 leg, but there's 3 legs on that piano, and so we need to figure it out for 3, which was the 84 inches, and divide that into 500. All right, so to practice this, pull out a square inch centimeter grid paper, which you picked up in class. Trace the outline of your hand with your fingers together onto the grid paper and see if you can calculate it. Bring it, let's take a look at that. That'll be kind of fun. Bring it to class with you tomorrow. Now let's practice a couple of these, because it's not super hard, so we don't have to do a lot of this. Let's look at Figure A. It shows a map with a square kilometer grid and the outline of a lake. Estimate the area of the lake. So let's go ahead and do that. First thing, you do it yourself, and then I'll walk through it and see if we can come up with the same thing. Okay, I'm going to look at A here. I'm going to find out all of my whole squares. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I got 11, because there's 2 halves there. 12, because there's 2 halves there. And then I'll take those and make it 13. So I'm going to go with 13. 13 kilometers squared. Let's see how we did. All right, 12 or 13. So it depends on how many halves you had, how many you didn't have. I went with the 13 square kilometers. All right, figure B, let's look at that. It says figure B shows a square, and that's outlined in blue. That's 2 by 2. And the circle. It says estimate the circle and then figure out the area of the circle is about how many times the area of the square. Let's calculate that. So let's go ahead and do the circle. Go ahead and stop the video, see if you can do it yourself. See if you can calculate the area of the circle. All right, let's do this together now then. We got 1 hole, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then we got a half and a half, half and a half. So I have 14. That's what I come up with. I come up with 14. Maybe it's 13. But I think it's 14. And if that's the case, then it's approximately 2 by 2 is 4. So it's going to be about 3 times larger than the square, roughly. Okay, so 13 centimeters squared, it's about 3 times larger. So again, it's an estimate. You've got to get close, and it depends on how you count your squares as far as holes and halves. But it's important that you be consistent so that you're close to the right answer. All right, that's it for that lesson. Not a really tough lesson. Here's your written practice. Do these numbers and bring them to class with you tomorrow. Appreciate you watching the video. We'll work on the math as a group, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bring your questions with you. Thanks.